Thank you very much. If we were in church, after a good testimony, the pastor would say, Amen, God bless the soul. Or brother, just give a testimonial. I think everybody is converted. We can now all know that we'll enter the gates of heaven happily. And I'm happy that Guyana is the avenue through which the gates of heaven should open itself onto you. But let me say how very pleased I am to be here again, and I want to take this opportunity first to really congratulate Jane and her team, and my brother here and his team for the amazing work that they do day after day in not only showcasing the opportunities in Guyana, but in doing exactly what we just saw. Having persons who speak about the reality come forward and tell their story. Because many times the successful stories are hidden by the noise. And that is the purpose of noise, to drown the competition out. Always remember what I tell you. Noise is designed to drown the competition out. If there is a man in the same field of business that you're doing, and you come and you hear him speak about the business environment, and he's completely negative, remember, his noise is to drown you out from competing with him. Because if it was so bad, what is he doing there? So noise is designed for this. So I'm very happy when these success stories can be told in events like these. But you know, there is something important, and the Minister of Finance has been working on this concept in which we want to translate the quantitative into qualitative. And it's a very simple task. One would hear about the growth numbers, what we came over the decades, what we overcame over the decades, the projections, the revenue projections, the trade numbers, but those are the quantitative aspect of what we're describing. But the qualitative aspect is so important, but many times understated. You see, we cannot build a quantitative if the qualitative does not give us the opportunity to expand, to get the quantitative going. And that is why the small infrastructure projects, the large infrastructure projects, the expansion of the economy, the opening up of new growth areas, new growth poles, and that is why it's important that you go out of Georgetown. It's so critical to this phase of development. Yesterday, I was flying over and I stopped at some of the new development that is taking place. And just in one region, you will have 30,000 new house lots. That is 30,000 new homes that will have to be constructed. So this construction sector is going to continue to expand at a very rapid pace. When you link that with the connectivity that we're going to build towards northern Brazil and the deep water port, and look at the opportunity that will unlock for a population of direct population of more than 2 million people in northern Brazil. And let me tell you, this is going to happen and happen very rapidly. So that brings me to this important point. How do we ensure that medium-sized enterprises, especially in manufacturing and processing, are represented in the market? And that is where I think a strong niche exists. Getting that targeted size of medium-sized enterprises. And if you are manufacturing products for the Caribbean, Latin America, and North America market, and you're not thinking about establishing a footprint here, you are making a grave mistake. And if you're not going to do it within the next 2 years, you're going to pay the cost of doing it after that, because it's going to be expensively inhibitive. So this is the period, the sweet spot, if you want to call it that, in which the policy direction of reducing the cost of electricity is linked to your own investment decision. Now let us say a company like Nestle, operating out of Trinidad, and they're doing juices. Now the only competitive advantage And we don't want them to move, we just want them to expand. Let me make that very clear. The competitive advantage there is the cost of energy. But take that here in Guyana, you will have a very competitive advantage in the cost of energy, but guess what? You will have access to an enormous quantity of raw materials for your business in Guyana, because we're expanding agriculture to cater for that, but in northern Brazil too. Tremendous excess production in food from northern Brazil that can get to your manufacturing facility within 24 hours. So imagine the type of cost savings that we're talking about, and then the value creation will be enough to give you the duty-free access to the regional market and beyond. So the small and medium-sized enterprises really have an enormous opportunity ahead of them. I was just asking Ashley about the company, the hemp company. So we are going to develop the hemp industry, but we're developing the hemp industry for the innovative sector, for the transformative type of products that hemp can stimulate and add to the economy. And we are looking for partners in the development of this industry. We're building out infrastructure now for the opening up of 50,000 new acreage of land for medium-sized farmers, but it must be linked to a processing facility. So we are really building out the economy, and at the same time, while we're building it out, we're adding the diversification layer. I'm not going to go into digitization and innovation because those are important planks through which the economy will rest. And we're looking at the most efficient way in which we can monetize the gas as quickly as possible. The most efficient way to monetize that gas as quickly as possible and to bring on stream all the benefits that will be derived out of monetizing this gas. We are also working now on ensuring our young people who are coming out of university that they're actively integrated into this new economy, especially in the area of technology, food development. So the development of Guyana is happening at different levels. You have the large-scale transformative projects, but at every community, you have those community-sized projects that are equally critical in building out wealth and creating new wealth and expanding the economic base of the country. Now, you may not realize this, but in just 3 years, 3.5 years, working with the British High Commission here and the UKEF team, we have done amazing work. Today, you have the most, not only you have the increase in trade, but the most diversified portfolio. We have now investment in major infrastructure. We have some very exciting projects that are being examined now that we hope that will be accelerated. UKEF just have to come down to 3.5% at the moment. So we have some very exciting projects in the pipeline. And I see the US ambassador is smiling because she knows she'll beat it at 3.5. So we have some very exciting news in the pipeline. And this is not only in infrastructure, shipping, logistics, but importantly, we have exciting news with British investment in agriculture that is to come. Exciting news in tourism, very exciting news in tourism. Exciting news in logistics and transport. Exciting news in services. All of these things are coming into place now. And I believe that they're going to add to the permanent value or asset of British investment, the UK investment here in Guyana. Of course, the competition is enormous. We are very happy that KLM is going to enter the market, and that will expedite the EU in doing what is right to expand their market here and getting the bureaucracy that is hamburging trade removed so that we can we can have even expanded market. This is not competition, this is creating and expanding markets. So as we get more airlift coming into Guyana, also, we need to look at the value creation chain. For example, what are the high value products that we can get into British market as close to fresh as possible? And as small as it may look, it adds up at the end of the year. I say to the young people, if you have zero savings and you start a business and you have $1 saving at the end of the year, you're still better off than zero. So don't count don't count the quantitative without putting in the qualitative work. The quantitative will come, but it requires a qualitative effort. And that is what is going to help us. So we look forward to this exciting journey ahead. We look forward to working with the private sector. We have been supporting private sector development, and I'm sure that we will have a very, very high level visit from the UK as this partnership expands at a rapid pace. We're also doing, and I must mention this, exciting work with the King's Foundation, Dumfries House, the model estate. We're looking to see how we can convert the concept here in Guyana, a state of harmony, and also the building out of Silica City. Exciting opportunities in the building out of Silica City. It's open for investment. We have a lot of knockers on the door, but I think that you should look at Silica City as an important plank through which you can bring in foreign direct investment in the building out of the city. The city, as we continue to build beyond next year, at least I can speak for up to 2030, by the will of the people, that we would want that city to be substantially advanced within that 5 years. So you can understand the pace at which we'll go after that city. Tremendous pace we'll go after that city, and we'll be looking at all the potential investors in matching the pace of getting the city done. When it must be done, there is no stopping of getting it done. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Mr. President, Jane, it's been amazing. I mean, honestly, so I came to Guyana first time in 1984, and I've been in the market ever since then. Our company in 2015 used to run one ship every 6 weeks from Europe, UK, and to Guyana. We now do one ship every week. So if you want to see success, and you can measure it, that is measured success. I'm so delighted to be in Guyana. I absolutely love the place. I was terrified when I first brought Nikki to Guyana, but she fell in love with the place too. And my son's here, working with the customers, delivering cargo. What we are able to do in Guyana is promote the fact that I feel at home here, okay? It's the only British-speaking, English-speaking country in South America. People in Guyana do business with people they trust and they like, and we have long and enduring relationships built upon mutual trust and respect. And all I want to say to you is, if you're not doing business in Guyana yet, please do, because it's an amazing place, and I really love it. And I've always felt very much at home here. We went to Riva in February, and that was just an amazing experience for me to be able to do with my wife and children. It's a networking event, as Chris and the High Commissioner have said. If I can do anything to help you build your business in Guyana, it's a free resource, okay? Use me, ask me all the questions you want. But honestly, this place is going gangbusters, and I'm so proud to be part of it. And seeing where it came from and where it's going to, it's just amazing. Thank you very much.
Fourth trade mission we've made in as many years, and I'm pleased to say it's the biggest and largest delegation that we've ever brought. And coming back at regular intervals to Guyana from overseas, you obviously see the progress of development with fresh eyes each time you come. And I have to say, this time, perhaps even more than any time before, it's really been quite startling to me. We've only been in the country for 24, 36 hours. I've already seen new hotels. I saw the Aden by Western. I've seen across the river, the Vredenhoek shore base, about twice the size it was last year. The bridge supports for the Demerara Bridge, obviously making massive progress. The roads being constructed that we've seen, and everywhere progress and dynamism. And frankly, we had a fantastic meeting yesterday morning with your Finance Minister, Honourable Ashley Singh, and he was describing trying to achieve what is a marathon at sprint pace. And really, I take my hat off to the energy and stamina that your government and Guyana's engaged in delivering, which is really delivering the results that we can see. We have a very big delegation this time, as I said, 20 people from across a wide range of sectors, including defence, security, construction equipment, construction materials, including some quite interesting construction materials. Some construction materials made from hemp, for example. I know this is an area of product that you've been looking at. We have companies involved in very wide range of sectors. And I'd particularly like to pay tribute to our mission partner, Kestrel, who here, Andy, you here? Yeah. Who are our mission partners and had the vision to establish a company here over a decade ago, and now a massive part of the trading relationship between the UK and Guyana, and bringing in much of the things needed to deliver the development here. I'd like just briefly to list some of the companies that are here. If people can identify themselves, so I can just point them out. I won't name everybody, but ITT, Andy, Transport, IP Council, Jeffrey, yeah, Hemspan Marcus here, Sirius, Ian, Second, Nick, Envirotech, Mike, JCB,
Yes, sir.
Eric, and then Maritime Development Limited, Andrew and Alex. So we've got plenty of others, but those are some of the key sectors and key people. I have a few thank yous. Thank you for the extremely warm and generous welcome that the government's given us, first of all. We've had a phenomenal reception and learned a lot over the last 24 hours about what's happening in Guyana, and met a number of ministers, which has been a great privilege. And we've got a very, very packed programme over the next 2.5 days, with something like 80 meetings planned for our delegates across the private sector and public sector. And these sorts of missions are a complex exercise with lots of moving parts, and each one needs different parts of the team. And so I just wanted to say some brief thank yous. Thank you to GCCI, who we've been working with since 2020 as our local partners, and particularly to Kester Hudson, their president, Richard Rambrand, and of course Jessica Campbell. I'd like to thank Brit Cham and Faisal Khan and Ramona Graham, who've been fantastic partners, and we had the joy of being with them at Lord's Cricket Ground about 8 weeks ago, with a phenomenal crowd of 250 people and a veritable who's who of famous and inspirational British Guyanese people. So it was a really, really splendid occasion. And then I'd like to thank DBT and the High Commission, Jamila Ward, Sherwin Norton, Kimberly and Faith. And then finally, of course, I'd like to thank the High Commissioner for her hospitality this evening, and for, as always, being such a great part of this. Thank you.
Judy. Your Excellency, please allow me to stand on existing protocol, but it's a huge honour to have so many of you here this evening. I haven't been asked to give a long speech, really short, and which is fortunate, but I think Jamila almost said everything I was supposed to say. But this evening is about networking. It's not about long speeches, but our trade missions here have been extremely successful. our statistics show that 50% of all the partners that have come out in our trade missions have ended up working in Guyana in some way, having a partner here or actually trading in the country. For anybody that knows about trade missions around the world, that statistic is phenomenal. So, yeah. But that's thanks to the Caribbean Council. Thank you so much for your hard work. It's my amazing team at the High Commission, the DBT, and Jamila, of course, in the region. You've got Sherwin, Kimberly, and Faith. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. But it's a really exciting time to be in Guyana. You've heard it already, fastest growing economy in the world. And the UK has a really great relationship. Over the last few years, it's just got better and better. I think the removal of visas helped. British Airways. We now have the British Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to acknowledge Faisal that's there. But it's been a really exciting time for the UK here in Guyana. So we've had a great few days. Why do we think that these trade missions are so successful? And I think it's partly because the UK's great relationship with Guyana, not just with government, but also with the private sector and everybody else. The way in which we've been able to forge those partnerships. There's a piece of advice that I give to everybody that comes out here. And the first thing is to be present, to come to market and really get to know the country. My second piece of advice is to have a local partner. My third piece of advice is to get out of Georgetown, see a bit of this beautiful, beautiful country. But I do have something really exciting to be announcing tonight, and that is the launch of the Doing Business in Guyana guide. This guide is led by the Chartered Institute of Export and International Trade, in collaboration with the British Chamber of Commerce, with British High Commission and DBT. So, Your Excellency, I'd like to give you a copy of this book. There you go. Oh. But this is an important book. It's not actually for the Guyana market. It's actually for people in the UK to understand the opportunities in Guyana. You've all heard me say this when I first got my job here. I'd spent the last 30 years living in Africa, and people said, oh, I knew you were going to stay in Africa. And like, no, Guyana's in the Caribbean. Oh, island life. No, it's in South America. Oh, so how's your Spanish? Anyway, this is it's an old joke. I've said it so many times. But it's true. People don't know much about the Guyana story. And the idea of this booklet is to promote Guyana's story. It's for people to understand the amazing opportunities, how to navigate the market, who BritCham is, who the High Commission is, where to go invest, who to get support from. So congratulations to all of those of you that have been involved in pulling this together. So I wish you